Hello students, welcome to today's video. So in the last session I discussed up till question number 11. Today we will be looking at question number 12 onwards. So let's start with question number 12, which is write a program to input the employee name, annual salary, annual savings, and then compute taxable income as annual salary minus annual savings, and then calculate the income tax as per the following tax slabs. So notice this word slabs. This type of question can be either a slab based, okay, which is question number 12. Question number 12 is an example of slab based, and question number 13 is an example of a non slab based question. So what is the difference between both? The difference is in question number 12 it is specifically mentioned the word slabs, okay. So either it is specifically mentioned, or if the question is something like this, up to 10 kilos weight the charge is rupees 30 per kg. For the next 20 kilos the charge is rupees 20 per kg. So students, whenever you see this word next in the table, okay, it is most likely that you have to use a slab based method, okay. So two things, either the slabs word is directly mentioned in the question or the next word is given in the table, then you have to follow the slab based approach. Otherwise you have to simply follow the non slab based approach. Now don't worry, I'll explain the difference between both. Let's start with question number 12, which is slab based. So in this question we have to take the input of employee name, salary and savings, which is done here through parameters, and then I've calculated the taxable income by doing salary minus savings and storing it in TI variable. Then I've declared a tax variable which will store the calculated tax. Then using if else, I will find out the income tax. So the first condition is taxable income. If the taxable income is less than equal to 3,50,000, okay, in the question you can see that the first row is less than equal to 3,50,000. So that is why I've written if taxable income, okay, if the taxable income is less than 3,50,000, then I simply multiply taxable income with 0, okay, which will be 0 only. Now if this condition is false, on line number 8, then only the control will come to line number 10. So listen carefully, control comes to line number 10 only when the condition on line number 8 is false. And when will line number 8 become false? When the taxable income is greater than 3,50,000, isn't it? The control will come to line number 10 only when the taxable income is greater than 3,50,000. That is the reason why I have not checked here explicitly that taxable income should be greater than 3,50,000, because if the control has reached this line number 10, that means already the taxable income is 3 lakh greater than 3,50,000. The only thing that we need to check here is whether it is less than equal to 6 lakhs, and that is what I have done here. Taxable income should be less than equal to 3 lakhs, 6 lakhs. So in the question, if you see, the condition is this: it should be greater than 3,50,000 and less than equal to 6 lakhs. So if I want, I can also write like this: if taxable income is greater than 3 lakh is greater than 3,50,000, okay, and using the AND operator, I will combine the second condition: taxable income should be less than equal to 6 lakhs. Okay. If you want, you can write it like this also, there is no problem, but as I said earlier, the first condition is already obvious. Okay. So there is no need to check again, and that is the reason why I have not checked here whether the taxable income is less than equal to 3,50,000, because it is already concluded. So if this is the case, okay, this is false and this condition turns out to be true, then line number 11 is going to execute. Okay. That means we have to calculate the tax now. So what will be the tax? First of all, we need to consider the previous slab. Okay. At the present slab is the second one. Okay. But before we consider the second slab, we have to consider the previous slab also. So the previous slab amounts for 3,50,000. Okay. So upon this 3,50,000, there is 0% tax. So I multiplied it with 0. Okay. And then to it, I will add the current income tax slab. Okay. Now in the current amount, if the control is in the second if, that means the value of taxable income will be greater than 3,50,000. Okay. Now let us assume that the value is 4,50,000. Okay. So out of those 4,50,000, we have already calculated the tax for the previous slab, which is 3,50,000. So out of 4,50,000, 3,50,000 is gone. So the remaining amount will be 4,50,000 minus 3,50,000. Okay. So this 4,50,000 is what? It is taxable income. Okay. I just assumed a value of 4,50,000. Okay. So that is why here we need to write TI, which is storing the taxable income. Taxable income TI minus 3,50,000 because we have already calculated the tax for that slab. So that should be subtracted from TI, and whatever is left, that will be multiplied with 15% as per the question. So the question says there is 15% tax in this slab. So I multiplied it with 0.5, which means 0.15, which means 15%. Now let us say this one also fails and this one also fails, both the conditions fails. Now the control comes to the third condition. In the third condition, we have to check the value should be greater than 6 lakh and less than equal to 10 lakhs. So it should be greater than 6 lakhs and less than 10 lakhs. But again, when will the control reach here? It will reach here only when the above two conditions fail. Okay. And when the above condition fails, that means it is already concluded that TI is not less than equal to 60 lakhs. It is greater than 6 lakhs, not 60 lakhs. It is greater than 6 lakhs, and then only the control will come here. So that is why I did not check for that condition that TI should be less than TI should be less than TI should be greater than 6 lakhs. I did not check it because it was already concluded in the previous condition that TI is greater than 6 lakhs. Then only the control came to this condition. Okay. So, the only thing that needs to be checked is whether TI is less than equal to 10 lakhs. So, that is what I have done here. I have checked whether TI is less than equal to 10 lakhs. If that is the case, I will calculate the tax, and this time the tax will be so at the present moment we are looking at this slab. That means we have to add first slab, second slab and the current slab. Okay. So, first slab will be 3,50,000 into 0. Okay. To this we will add the second slab. In the second slab, what is the amount? The amount is 6 lakhs minus 3,50,000. Okay. So, 6 lakhs minus 3,50,000. Upon that amount, the tax will be applied, that is 0.15. Okay, plus the current slab. Now, in the current slab, how much amount is left? We have already calculated for 3,50,000. Okay, and then 2,50,000 has been done here. So, 3,50,000 and 2,50,000, that is 6 lakhs. So, we have already calculated for 6 lakhs. The remaining amount will be how much? TI. Out of TI, all 6 lakhs has already been taken into consideration. So, from TI we are going to subtract 6 lakhs. So, TI minus 6 lakhs into 25%, which is 0.25. So, that is the reason why I have done this 3,50,000 into 0, then 6 lakh minus 3,50,000 into 0.15 and TI minus 6 lakhs into 0.25. And if all the above conditions fail, then the control will come to the else part. Okay. That means, if the above condition is failing, that means the value of TI is obviously greater than 10 lakhs. That is why I have not checked here if TI is greater than 10 lakhs. Okay. And the tax amount for this will be first slab plus second slab plus third slab plus the current slab. Okay. So, first slab, you know that it is 3,50,000 into 0. Second slab is 6 lakhs minus 3,50,000. Okay, I have already explained this. So, upon this you will apply 15%, and the third slab is 10 lakhs minus 6 lakhs, which will give you 4 lakhs. Okay. So, upon the 4 lakh amount you will apply 25%. So, 10 lakhs minus 6 lakhs into 25%, and then the remaining amount will be how much? TI minus 10 lakhs. Okay. 3,50,000, 2,50,000 and 4 lakh, that will amount to 10 lakhs. So, 10 lakhs has already been taken into consideration. The remaining amount would be TI minus 10 lakhs. So, on this TI minus 10 lakhs, the tax amount will be 35%. Okay. So, this is how you will calculate the tax, and once it is calculated, you are going to print all the details. So, I hope you have understood slab based if else. Now imagine if this was a non-slab, if this was a non-slab based question, okay. If this was a non-slab based question, you would have directly done, you would have directly done it like this. For the first condition, it would have been Ti, okay, Ti into 0%, okay. For the second condition, you would have written Ti, the tax would have been Ti into 15%, and for the third one it would have been again Ti into 25%, and for the last one it would have been Ti into 35%, okay, without considering the previous slabs. So let's see the next question, question number 13. So City Electronics Company gives a discount on the total amount of goods sold as per the following table. Write a program in Java which accepts the product price and number of units sold. Calculate the amount of discount applicable and the amount payable, okay. So this is a non-slab based question. If the total cost is greater or equal to rupees 10 lakhs, the discount rate will be 5%. If the total cost is between 75,000 and 1 lakhs, the discount rate would be 3.5%. Okay, so we have to follow this table and write the program in a non-slab based manner. So I've taken the price and number of units sold, okay. Then I calculated the total cost, which will be number of units sold into price, okay. So that is stored in total cost, and then I've initialized a variable discount. Then I'm checking the value of total cost. If the total cost is greater or equal to 1 lakh, okay, then I am simply assigning 5% in the variable discount, okay. And if this condition is false, then the next condition is checked, which is total cost is greater or equal to 75,000 and the total cost is less than 1 lakhs. So if this is the case, I am assigning 3.5% into discount, and if this condition is also false, then the control will come to the next else if, which will check if the total cost is greater or equal to 50,000 and total cost is less than 75,000. So if both the conditions are true, then discount variable will be assigned with 2.5%, and if this condition is also false, the next else if will be checked, which will check whether the total cost is greater or equal to 20,000 and it's less than 50,000. Okay, if this is the case, the discount variable will be assigned with 1.5%, and if all the above conditions are false, then the value is obviously, the value stored in total cost is obviously less than 20,000. So I have not checked it here because it's already obvious, it's already concluded the value is less than 20,000, okay. And when that is the case, I am assigning 1% in the variable discount. So once that is done, I will display the payable amount right here by doing total cost minus discount, okay. So discount, whatever the discount comes out to be. So one of the statements from this and or this is going to execute, okay, and whichever one statement executes, that will decide the value of discount, okay. based on the condition, and then the payable amount will be total cost minus discount. So, I hope you understood this. So, in this question you can see this is a non-slab based question. So, while solving this, I did not consider the previous slabs. Okay, I was just considering the current slab. So, that is the difference between a slab based question and a non-slab based question. So, let's use the sample output for this. So, we need to enter the price, let's say 50,000 and number of units sold will be, let's say 3. Okay. So, price per unit price is 50,000, number of units sold is 3, total price will be 1,50,000 and the discount will be 0.05 and the payable amount will be this. Okay. So, the discount is 0.05. That means this particular statement decided the value of my discount, because our total cost was greater than 1 lakh, it was 1,50,000. So, I hope you have understood this problem. So, now let us see the next question. Write a program in Java that reads month number and the year in YY format, okay, a 4 digit year, and displays the number of days in that month. Okay. So, I have declared a scanner object here SC, okay, and then I have declared a NOD variable number of days which is initially 0. Then I have displayed a message enter month number, and then in the next line I am taking the input and storing it in month. Similarly, in line number 17 I am taking the year input and storing it in the year variable, and then I am passing month as an expression to switch. Okay. So, if month is 1, that is January, the number of days would be 31. So, I assign 31 to NOD and then I break. Okay. Similarly, if the month is, I will come to case 2 later. Okay. If the month is case 3, again I will be assigning 31 to NOD. Okay. If the month is month number is 4, that is April, I will be assigning 30 to NOD. Okay. So, I have done this for all the month numbers. Okay. And for finding out the number of days in case the month number is 2, which represents February. So, I have to find out whether the year is a leap year or not, because if the year is a leap year, then the number of days will be 29, and if it is not a leap year, then the number of days would be 28. So, this is the condition for finding out whether a year is a leap year or not. Okay. If the year is divisible by 400, then it is a leap year, or if it is divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100, okay, then also it is a leap year. So, if it is a leap year, I will be assigning 29 to NOD, that is number of days. Okay. Else number of days value would be 28. So, let us have a look at the sample output. So, enter month number, let us say 3, and the year, let us say 1989. So, that is giving me the year as the number of days as 31. Okay. Let us try again. This time the month number will be 2. Okay. And the year will be 2000, So the number of days is 29. That means the year 2000 is a leap year. Let's try some non-leap year number. Okay, so month number 2 and the year, let's take 2001. So number of days, you can see it's 28 this time, because 2001 is not a leap year. Okay, and if the month number is beyond 1 and 12, like 15, then it's showing number of days is 0. Okay, so I hope you have understood this program. Let's see the next question, question number 15. So Mayur Transport Company charges for parcels as per the following tariff. Okay, if the weight is up to 10 kilos, the charges will be rupees 30 per kg. If the weight is the weight is less than equal to 30, that is for the next 20 kilos. Okay, 10 kilos is already covered here, and the next 20 kilos means up till 30 kilos. Okay, so up till 30 kilos, that is from 11 to 30. Okay, the charge will be rupees 20 per kilogram, and if the weight is above 30 kilos, the charge will be rupees 15 per kilo. And this question is a slab based question because the word next is there. Okay, so let's see the solution for it. So I've taken the weight input through parameters, and then I've declared a variable charge which is storing 0. Okay, now in line number 8, I am checking if the weight is less than equal to 10 kilos. If that is true, then I'll be multiplying whatever weight is there, and we know it will be less than or equal to 10 kilos, that we are multiplying it with 30. Okay, because that is what is given in the question. Charge, as you can see, the charge is rupees 30 per kilos. So whatever is the weight and multiplied by 30, that will give you the charge, the price, the rate. Okay, now if the weight is not less than or equal to 10, that means the weight is obviously bigger than 10, but we have to check, is it less than equal to 30? If yes, then the charge will be the previous slab. Okay, so previous slab, there is 10 kilos, so 10 kilos into 30, the charge will be 300. So that is what is done here, 10 into 30. Okay, now so out of this weight, let's say it was let's say 20 was entered. So out of 20, 10 has been taken into account. Okay, now the remaining will be 20 minus 10, isn't it? So that is why I've done weight minus 10, because 10 has already been done here. So weight minus 10, whatever that is, that will be multiplied with 20 as per the question. Okay, because it is 20 per kilo. And finally, if both the conditions above are false, okay, then I will check the last condition. Okay, so here the charge will be first slab plus second slab plus the third slab. Okay, so you know first slab amounts for 10 kilos, so 10 kilos into 30. Second slab amounts for 20 kilos, so 20 into the rate per kilo, which is 20. Okay, and then the remaining will be how much? 10 has been taken into account and 20 also has been taken into account, so the remaining will be weight minus 30. Okay, 10 plus 20, 30. So we have subtracted it from weight, and then we are multiplying it with 15, because that is the charge given in the question in the third row, rupees 15 per kilo. That is why I have multiplied 15. So finally we are going to display the total weight and the charge. So I hope you have understood this question also. Now I'll be discussing the last question from this chapter, which is this: the city library charges late fine from members. Okay. Now it gives out two kinds of books. One is magazine type and the second one is textbook type. Okay. So from this library one can borrow either a magazine kind of book or a textbook kind of book, and the fines have been defined like this: up to 5 days if it's a magazine. If you are late by up to 5 days, then if it's a magazine, the charge will be ₹1. Okay, and if it's a textbook and you are late up to 5 days, then the charge will be ₹2. Similarly, if the number of days late is 6 to 10 days, okay, and if it is a magazine, then the charge will be ₹2. And if it's a textbook kind of book, then the charge will be ₹3 per day. Okay, so this is how we have to approach this question. You can either use nested if. Okay, for this kind of question you can use nested if, or you can also use the switch case. So here I have used switch case instead of using if else. Okay, nested if, that is. Okay, maybe if I have time, I will show you the nested if one also. So I'm taking, okay, I have done a few mistakes here. We don't need these three variables, and yep, it's okay, and I haven't done the printing. Let's do it. System.out.println. Okay, students, so let's see. First I have created a scanner object, and then I have declared a find variable which is initialized with 0, and then I am displaying a message here: enter number of days late. Okay, and that I am storing it in NOD variable, and then I have displayed a message: enter book type, and I'll be taking it in the form of a character and storing it in the variable BT, which is of character type. Now I am passing this BT as an expression to switch. Okay, so if the value in BT is character M, that means the user borrowed a magazine type of book. Okay, so if it is case M, then it is obvious that the user borrowed a magazine. Now we need to calculate the number of days, we have to calculate the fine according to the number of days late. So if number of days is less than equal to 5, the fine will be how much? The number of days late into 1. Okay, as it is given in the question, ₹1 into the number of days. Okay, so that is why I have done ₹1 into number of days. Then if this condition is false, that means the number of days late is greater than 5 and less than 10, less than equal to 10. So if this condition is true, the fine will be how much? ₹2 into number of days. Okay, and that will give you the fine. Similarly, for less than equal to 15 days, the fine will be 3 rupees 3 into number of days. Okay. Similarly, for the other conditions also, the fine is calculated according to the table given, and it is stored in the variable fine. So any one of the statement will execute here and decide the fine, and then finally break will happen, break will execute, which will cause the control to come out of the switch. Now in BT, okay, in BT there are two possible values we are expecting. It should be either character M, okay, or it should be T. So let's see if the character stored in BT is character T, okay, then we'll repeat the same thing as we did it here, okay, but this time the only thing is that we will change the rate, okay, we'll change the rate. For example, if number of days is less than equal to 5, okay, then fine will not be rupees, it will not be rupee 1, it will not be rupee 1 per day, it will be rupees 2 per day, okay. So that is why it is 2 into number of days. Similarly, if number of days is less than equal to 15, the fine will not be 3 per day, it will be rupees 4 per day. So I am multiplying 4 into NOD, number of days, okay. And finally, if in the variable BT we don't have character M nor character T, then the default case will execute and it will print invalid book type, okay, and then it will finally print the book type and the fine amount. So let's have a sample output for this. So let's say number of days late is 15 and the book type is, let's say the book type is M, okay. So the fine amount is coming out to be rupees 45. Let's see if it is right or not. So the number of days late is 15 and the book type is M. So 15 will fall into this category. So 3 into NOD is 15, okay. So 15 into 3, that is 45 rupees is the fine. Let's run it again and check for other values. Number of days late is this time, let's say 6 and the book type is T, textbook, okay. So the fine amount is coming as rupees 18. Let's see if it's right. Number of days late is how much? It is 6. So it falls within this category, sorry, not this one, this is for M, we have to check this one. 6 will fall within this category, okay. So 3 into 6, that is giving me 18, okay. And if I enter some invalid character like P, let's say, so number of days late will be 20 and the book type is P. So you can see it is displaying me invalid book type, okay. So ideally if the book type is invalid, this should not be displayed, our program should exit, okay. So let us do it. Display invalid book type and then I am going to display exiting and I will use the system.exit exit function to exit, okay. Let's check again. So you can see this time it exited if the book type was something invalid. So I hope you understood the solution for all the questions given in this chapter. So I have discussed all the important questions. So I'll stop here. Thank you.